they're going to remember the experience rather than how many games they won and all that. That will take care of itself. When he talks about don't be weird, like practice once a week. That's it. Like you don't need to do more. And then there'll be kids on your team that won't be able to come or they're going to miss. You just roll with it. It doesn't matter. On Friday, they show up, get them in the game. We'll go over some of the subbing. There's some intricacies to the subbing. I think that's really important. A warning, our refs, how we train them like crazy. They get paid pretty well. They do adult basketball, they do high school basketball, they do high school football, these are experienced guys, and they're bad. I'm telling you. So they're usually not very good, okay? So you just go into it knowing they're not gonna be great, and they're gonna miss calls, and you roll with it. If you guys, you're the heartbeat, you're the temperature of your team, and your parents, your players are gonna feel how you react when things are not going the right way, and that's when things spin the wrong way. Because Coach said it's great on Friday nights. You've all probably been there. It's a great experience, and everyone's fired up. But people get freaking crazy at these flag football games. It's unreal. But everybody keeps coming back, so it's so much fun. But you guys can control that with your players, with your parents, setting the tone of how you're going to react and how you should respond through an hour game.
Thanks, Coach.
Yeah.
Let's talk about timelines. All right, so February 16th is opening night of Friday Night Lights, okay? Now, obviously we hope there's no rain outs. Hopefully, we hope the weather cooperates in the spring, but sometimes it doesn't. And the city of Carlsbad makes the call on the fields. We do not. If it was up to us, well, we're football coaches, game on. But it's not up to us. The city of Carlsbad, rightly so, wants to protect its grass and wants to make sure that things are treated a certain way. So we hope the season starts February 16th, and it should go 8 games over 11 weeks. So you'll have 3 byes. Could your bye be February 16th? It could. Go ahead, bro. Yeah, please do.
On that note, with the rain, if we play in the rain, your kids are going to be okay. I'm not kidding. We get destroyed. Like they're going to get pneumonia and all. It's if the city says it's okay to play in the rain, we're going to play in the rain. It's okay. They're going to be all right. So you guys, use your parents. And then I don't know how you guys are. You say, hey, yeah, we get to play in the rain. Let's go. Let's go have fun. That's how it goes. Because there will be times it might start sprinkling or something. We're not going to call the game for a little rain. It's going to happen. California, Southern California, we're soft. So it's like, it's going to happen at some time.
It will.
It might get muddy. That could happen. Your new white Jordans, they might get dirty.
But if you go on Amazon, there's a shoe cleaner, all right? Ethan Meyerhoff, are you in here? Okay, I saw one of our players come on in earlier, and he actually wore some fantastic Jordans one day, and I saw him in woodshop class at Carlsbad High, and he had crap all over his Jordan. I was like, oh my gosh. He goes, Coach, I have this pink shoe cleaner. It's amazing. So, if you guys don't know about the pink shoe cleaner, you go on Amazon. I think it says like pink shoe cleaner. It's amazing. But why would we want to play during a sprinkly March day? Because we don't want the season to go into July, okay? And the closer we get to June, the closer we get to 8th grade graduation, the closer we get to your vacations, and we want to try to keep the season on track as much as possible. But again, the city of Carlsbad makes all the decisions on if and when we can play. All right, so again, 8 games over 11 weeks, and then the playoffs will start in late April, assuming there's no rainouts. And then the playoffs should take 3 or 4 weeks. Those of you that played in the fall season, you know that we had the longest FNL season in the history of mankind. That was not by design. There were some factors, and there was also probably a little bit of human error on our side where we thought we could maybe rent a certain field on a certain night, but it ended up not happening. So, lesson learned on our end, and we're going to do our best to streamline the season. So 8 games over 11 weeks. We used to take Carlsbad Unified spring break off as a league, but then we kind of ran the numbers, and only about 30% of the kids that are in the league actually attend Carlsbad Unified schools. So it really wasn't fair to the 70%. So we just played 8 games in 11 weeks in the fall season. Encinitas has a 2-week fall break. It's a bad deal for FNL, but oh well, games keep happening. In spring, San Marcos will have a spring break this week. Oceanside will have a spring break this week. It'll just be different. We have 8 different school districts at least that are represented in our league, and not including the private schools like Tri-City and Santa Fe Christian and some of these other schools. So we're doing the best job we can. And if you guys ever have any feedback or you ever have anything, hey, you know what, I have an idea, email us, please. The league has really, really grown. We started off with 430 kids back in 2011, and now we're at 2,400 kids. And so the reason why the league grows is because the coaches are normal, kind humans, and flag football's fun. That's really it. And it's only 1 hour a week. So, like for my wife, it's a low commitment, for sports. She loves that. So, 8 games, 11 weeks, playoffs happen after that. Kindergarten does not play playoffs. Every other division does play playoffs. What happens in the playoffs? Let's say a coach had an amazing season. They went 8-0. I'll look at Coach Mack now, look at coach's roster and say, are these elite football players? Is this coach always good? If so, we'll probably put him in the gold division for the playoffs. If coach has a bunch of normal kids, then we'll say, you're going to play in the silver division, and then that's where most of the teams play. And if coach went 0-8 or 1-7, we'll look at the team composition and say, you know what? This may be better to play in the bronze division, and that way coach is playing against other teams that also went 1-7 or 2-6 or 0-8. We want everybody to have a good experience. We all know that teams are built differently. As Coach Mack said, when he coached FNL, he had about the same 6 or 7 kids for 8 years. Well, that breeds continuity, and that's great for the team. The problem is when you play against other teams that don't have that continuity, it's simply not as fair of a fight. So what we do is we spend a ton of time looking at how last season went, and let's say your name is Sean Smith, and you went 0-8. We already know we put you in a conference for the spring that is representative of the season you just had, so that you don't have to play the elite teams. You'll play against 8 other teams that are like your team. And let's say you're coaching 3rd and 4th grade, if you have all 3rd graders, you'll play against other teams that have mostly all 3rd graders. If you have all 4th graders, you'll probably play against most teams that have all 4th graders. Does that make sense? So we do our best to kind of, I don't know if stratification's the word, but we do our best to just make sure that, and even then it's not, Coach Mack, do we bat 1,000 on putting the right teams in the conferences? We don't. We do the best we can. We spend a lot of time and effort on it. But invariably, somebody's going to go 0-8. Somebody's going to go 8-0. And that's how it goes. And we had a player who played in Michigan, or plays on Michigan. We had a player on Washington last night and a player in Michigan. And obviously Michigan won last night. But I remember when that player's dad was an FNL coach a decade ago. And he was like, we lost. The other coach scored 60 points on us. My kids will never recover. I think they recover just fine, honestly. You know who doesn't recover? The parents, okay? Because parents can be weird. Kids are pretty normal. So, just be aware of that. There could be a lopsided game. Coach Mack, let's imagine your team is winning 40-0 after 3 quarters. You're the coach. And how do you handle that? You're winning 40-0.
Yeah, so on offense, we're going to run the ball every down, no matter what. And specifically, I'm going to get the players who don't get the balls as much. They're going to get the football in their hands. We're not going to throw it. On defense, we're not going to rush anymore. We're going to put our guys way back. And if they throw it right to us, of course, we're going to intercept it. But we're just not going to keep putting the foot on the pedal. Right? We're going to. In FNL, if you're scoring 40, that's like 80-0. 40 is enough. We'll look at scores and go, oh my gosh, well, and you get the different versions. But one is, it's just disrespectful. It's just not going to bode well. You're going to get a phone call from me, and it's not going to go in your favor. But there's going to be, chances where it's not your fault to a degree. So, but do what you can. If you do those steps, there's nothing else you can do. But really be wary of that, because you're going to get some lopsided games, and then you're going to be on the other side of it. So when you get your butt whooped, don't get butthurt about it. get in the coach's face and like, or I can't, it's gonna happen. It's okay. Hey, that guy, he's living, that's his problem. You just worry about your side.
Yes, sir.
And then give us a note too. Hey, this is what happened with the coach.
Yeah, we love that. We have an internal spreadsheet. Robert, I'm going to get to you in 1 second. We have an internal spreadsheet where we keep notes on everybody, honestly.
Yeah.
If somebody calls or emails us and says that, hey, John Jones threw down a water bottle on a Friday night and it exploded, and then he said a bad word, we call that coach, we document it, and then if you get to like 3 of those, you get asked to leave FNL. I think we probably suspended 7 parents, maybe 6 coaches last season.
Last season.
Yeah. So, no, we're pretty serious about it. And then, here's my favorite part. When the coach gets suspended, the coach is like, yeah, that's right, that was my bad, I messed up. But that other coach, let me tell you about that other coach, right? Or they say, yeah, I didn't have a good night, that was my bad, whatever. And then we get 9 emails from all the parents that are like, I cannot believe you thought Coach John was a jerk. Coach John is the greatest dude ever. Blah, 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 blah. And it's like, I'm not saying he's not, like, Coach Mack's not saying he's not a good dude. We're just saying that, like, you can't throw down a water bottle and then cuss out the ref. Like, that's all we're saying.
Can't do that.
There are rules. Yes, sir.
On those younger leagues, like kindergarten, are coaches allowed on the field?
They are kindergarten, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grade. Coaches are allowed on the field.
In the hub.
One coach is allowed on there. Now, don't have 2 or 3. My experience with that is that if you have 3 coaches in a huddle, the little 6-year-olds, they don't know who to look at. So try to keep it with 1 person, and the referees typically won't let you have more than 1 coach honestly out there.
So if you put 1 in the huddle, sometimes on the kindergarten one, you 1 on the field.
1 coach on the field.
Yeah.
1 coach on the field. If you're in 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th or 8th grade, and you're like, well, that's nonsense. I want to be on the field. Here's what you do. You have your huddle come to the sideline. You're on the sideline. You're still having a huddle. Nothing really changed except you're off the field, they're on the field. Then they all go back out there. Or you can do the thing where you give them the play sheets on their wristband. You can also, there's an app that I want to say is called like Playmaker Pro, that has Friday Night Lights plays, or you can draw up flag football plays, and it's visual. You hit a button, and the red person runs a slant, the blue person runs a streak, the yellow person runs an out, and hey buddy, what color are you? Boom, boom, boom. And in 30 seconds, next thing you know, break, here we go, and we're off and running. Does that make sense, everybody? Okay. We talked about when the season starts. When does the season start? Raise your hands.
February 16th.
All right, Robert, what was your question? Thanks for being patient.
Questions as far as the kids, as far as are you required to rotate them? No skill set position.
Yeah. So you really good question. In my mind, when you have 9 players on the team, you probably want to have 2 or 3 quarterbacks total. If you in practice though, if you want to work on developing skills, which is absolutely important, absolutely set up a quarterback station. Have an assistant coach take the receivers. You work with the quarterbacks. You guys can work on all your fun stuff and develop skill. When it comes to the games, Robert, I would be really careful about having too many quarterbacks. I would try to have players focus on 2 or 3 positions. Maybe they snap, maybe they play running back, maybe play receiver, but maybe they're not quarterback and center and running back and jet motion receiver.
And there's no blocking, right?
There's 0 blocking. Yeah, this is a non-contact flag football league. Again, non-contact. If you play a game and your players get tackled repeatedly, or there's a player on the other team elbowing, after that minute that game's over, drink some water, enjoy your time with your family, wake up in the morning and send a referee feedback form to Coach Mack or myself and say, hey coach, I was on field 7 last night, and the feedback form is prescriptive. So it asks you what time, what field, all that fun stuff. And you just fill it out, email it to us, and then we will call that coach and be like, hey, just a heads up, it seemed like number 7 had a hard time last night. He had a hard time with his elbows, blah, blah, blah. And the coach was like, yeah, you know what, I got to fix that. Or, you know what, I'm having a real hard time with him, and then we'll try to workshop that. Coach Mack is an educator for 30 years. I have a master's in education. I'm a special ed teacher. So it's like, if you guys have issues with players or parents, call us. Like, we can help with that kind of stuff.
That's funny that you said that, because last Friday, my son's playing,
Uh-huh.
and 3 times got the ball and kids were chatting.
Is this in the Winter League?
Yeah,
Okay.
and I think, oh, and one time the referee threw the flag.
Okay, 1 out of 3.
Other times, just let it go.
Robert, did you hear when Coach Mack said the referees were not good earlier?
Hey, that's all the business.
Kidding.
NFL also.
Totally kind of kidding. No fault. What's up, dude? Are you still in ASB at San Marcos High School?
Yeah.
All right, what are you, class president?
Yeah,
Right on. What's up, dude?
That's correct.
thank you. So for substitutions, if a player gets hurt on my team and has to come out, are they out for the rest of it? Because you're gonna have to
No.
put them back in, or can they come back when they're ready, or do they have to play the
Yeah,
rest of the quarter?
no fault. Let's do common sense. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
if your player got hurt
Not good,
or had a tummy ache or something like that, whenever they're ready to go back in, they can go back in that quarter. But like, that was their quarter to play, right? So, but what you don't want to do is create weird injury situations, okay? Where you pretend, where one you have like a signal and you like point to your hamstring, and then the 7-year-old starts limping, and all of a sudden he or she goes out, and all of a sudden
Johnny quarterback comes in.
Johnny Quarter, who's real fast, all of a sudden comes in the game. So yeah, don't be weird with substitutions and injuries and sicknesses.
Well, yeah,
but,
that's
yeah.
why 'cause we had a situation like that last year, and I didn't know like the exact rules on if the player could come back that quarter. Or
They could, yes,
Yeah.
yeah. But that's their quarter to play, so like, you can't kind of make up for it next quarter,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. All right. Questions, comments, concerns on injuries or substitutions? Hi, Coach.
Hey, how many of you guys gonna be on the kindergartners? I did kindergarten last year, and it was like a herding cats. Right?
Sure.
And so I could have used multiple coaches on the field, but how many? I know, and I talked with the other coaches, and I said, we were gonna exchange cards where like it's cool.
Yeah, it's kindergarten, understood.
Right. So I mean, and the refs were pretty cool, except for the having multiple coaches on the.
Yeah, and we told the refs to only have one coach on the field, so they're following our instructions.
Yeah.
Here's the problem with being lenient with anything, right?
Yeah.
Is that like, we're not setting people up for success.
Yeah.
If we allow them to take 1 minute in between plays instead of 30 seconds, well, we're being lenient, but what are we doing? Well, there's a bunch of other kids that aren't getting playing time now.
Yeah.
And the game is not gonna have as many plays in it. So it's like, if the referees don't enforce the rules, then then what happens when these kindergartners come in 1st and 2nd grade, and then, and the referees aren't lenient? So
That's
yeah,
an
there's some.
interesting ref thing for this kid.
Yeah, I mean, interesting is an interesting word for refs. Yeah, for sure.
Well, to that point, I would say, Mike, it's first, second now, but for the early games, I would recommend being lenient on the kindergarten kids, because someone is literally just getting them in confidence.
Yeah, and the referees do that, without us even telling them. They're going to give 35
The kid's
seconds.
dad whose leg they're attached to,
Yeah. All right, hey, coach.
How often do you have Friday nights where there's not a team with not enough players?
God, what a great question that is. What's your name?
Aaron.
Aaron. Yeah, magna cum laude over there. So let's imagine Coach Mack has a roster of 9 players, and all of a sudden he gets a bunch of texts, and he only has 4 players. Coach Mack, you and I are supposed to play that night. I've got 9 players that are fired up. I've got a bunch of parents and grandparents ready to show up at Poinsettia Park, or Al got to play a game, but you only have 4. What are you going to do?
We show up and we treat it like a scrimmage.
So if you have 4 players or less, the game does not have a real score, okay? It would be a forfeit victory for whoever has 9. If Coach Mack has 5 players, it's a real game.
Yep.
Game on. So the advantage of having 9 players on your roster, you'd have 4 players that are sick or on vacation or whatever they're doing. Maybe they're in the Galapagos, who knows? But they can play a real game that will count. So,
And with the 5 players, that doesn't mean the other team has to play with 5. They can still play with their amount of players, 6.
5 on 6. And we've
Yeah.
seen teams with 5 win the championship before.
Yeah.
It just matters which 5 you have. What other questions do you guys have before we kind of get into the
In that situation in the kindergarten league, if we talk with the other coaches, can we just play a scrimmage and have a couple of players on their team?
Yeah, if Coach Mack only had 4 players and I had 9, we would get to the game and he'd be like, hey Coach, we only have 4 players, so it'll be a forfeit, but anyway, we can borrow some players. And then like, yeah, of course, man, let's go. Let's have a good time. Or hey, why don't we have a parent jump in, or whatever. Have a good time. Tony, I know you've been patient. Would you like to talk to everybody, or do you not need to talk to everybody tonight, or?
I'll say just a few things.
Okay, come on up here, Tony. I apologize for
No.
being so long-winded.
No. That's fine. So, well, first of all, thank you guys for coaching, and thank you for being here. It's right? So our job is really to help you have a successful and good season. So I think the number one thing is for the new coaches, go to the website. A lot of questions can be answered by looking at the website, nccfnl.com. Under the coaches tab, there's information, facts, there's like all these questions that are answered. Most importantly, it'll tell you what emails and who to email for what kind of questions. So if you have roster questions or if you have uniform questions, there are different people to email. So mine, Tomi for FNL.com. At gmail.com. So I do uniforms, sponsorships, plaques, pictures, things like that. But that's all written down. And the second thing I would say, the most helpful thing, is to read your emails. We really don't want to inundate you, but if we do email you from Coach Mack or from Coach Paul or myself, it means usually that there's some kind of action that needs to be taken, or there's like uniform pickup or something that needs to be done. So please, please read your emails from us. It'll help you and it'll save so much time for you guys. Sponsorships, just really quick. So it's $375 per team, and sponsorships really help to offset the registration fees. So, and it just helps with all the costs of FNL. So instead of having you guys to collect extra fees, this way you can get it from a sponsor, from a business, and that'll help you. It's just like a community thing. Businesses love to help you. So it's $375. It's due, if you want to go online and do it ahead of time, that'll save you time for picking up uniforms on the 7th. You need to get online prepaid registration done by February 5th. And that'll allow you to go in an expedited line to pick up your uniforms. Otherwise, they'll take cash and check only. I heard that snack bar went to cash, but cash and check only, and you'll have to go in the slower lane. You don't get the fast pass lane, but that is available. You can also Venmo. If you do Venmo, please let me know what team it's for, what division, and what coach's name, and then I can tie it together. So you'll get your uniforms on February 7th. Put that on your calendar now. You can send, as long as the sponsorships are picked up, sponsorships are paid, you can send anyone to pick up your uniforms.
Where is that again?
It's going to be here, February 7th. I think it starts at 5 o'clock. So
If we also emailed this out to you in the coach's info packet that I
Yes.
attached today, and it has the dates and times. So if you're like not an auditory processor, you already have this in your inbox. Okay.
Yeah.
Don't feel like you have to memorize this.
yeah, and I'll be sending you an email about this coming up. So just read it. And again, that coaches packet is on the website underneath the coaches tab.
Thanks for doing that.
So yeah, so if it's just too much, as he said, it's there. And then, so you'll get your uniforms in there, a standard size allotment per division. We've done a lot of research, a lot of data analysis. It's not willy-nilly. We really, really did a lot of work to get a good assortment per division. So what you want to do is when you get your uniforms, you're going to line up your team like tallest to shortest. That's the easiest way. And then give the biggest kid the biggest uniforms. Make sense, right? Yeah, okay. Is there anything else? I guess?
No.
I think that's it. Oh, pictures, sorry,
Oh,
pictures. Sorry. Ultimate Exposures. We'll be sending you an email for pictures, which is sign up is March 9th. So you'll get it from them. So Ultimate Exposures will be emailing you. You'll need to sign up for your team for pictures that one day. And that's how you get this pictures for the sponsorship plaques. So, and this year we're doing a little bit slightly different. You're going to receive a voucher from them so that you can pick, and you have the flexibility to pick whatever you want. If you want a team picture, if you want a button, if you want whatever. So it's not a standard package this year. You're going to get a voucher emailed to you, and you get to use it towards any of their products. Okay. I think
Tell me,
that's
great
it.
job. Thank you.
Question.
Thanks,
Hey,
everyone.
Robert,
Oh, yeah.
Sign team names.
Oh, they're random. Yeah. If any of you have ever emailed Coach Mack and I, like, we are huge Cincinnati Bearcats fans. We deleted that email so fast. I promise you, like, we have no interest in trying to identify your favorite football team. It's a little too hard, honestly. So, Coach Mack, I'd like to go over a little bit about Friday Night Lights rules and just kind of how the game is played. Very briefly, Coach Mack, the ball starts on the 5-yard line here, right?
Yep.
Now, Coach, I have, and I'm not an incredible artist, I have put these dotted lines on the field. Now, Coach, what are these dotted lines on the field as we approach the first down or as we approach the goal? What are those for?
There are no run zones.
Pass only or no run. What does that mean? It means that, let's say on first down, we get here, and then on second down, we're here. So now it's third down and short. This is the first down marker, and it's 3rd and 2. What I want to do is hand the ball off to my bruising fullback to get the first down. Problem is, in Friday Night Lights, there's no blocking. And we also want to avoid tackling or any sort of contact. So when you get within 5 yards of a first down or 5 yards within a touchdown, we mandate that you throw the football, even in kindergarten. Does the pass have to be like a bomb? No. It just has to be forward. It could be forward a centimeter. Doesn't matter. It could be a little underhand shovel. It could be behind the back. None of it matters. Just make sure it's pass only when you're in the pass only zone. Why do you guys think we do this? To keep kids safe. We don't want any contact. There is a gentleman who was telling me about his son plays in a middle school flag football league. It is full contact flag football, okay? I can't imagine the liability on that one and the injuries that could happen on that, but to each their own. I mean, you know, to each their own. In FNL, we want to make sure the kids are really, really safe. We want to protect the quarterbacks. When they throw the ball, you are not allowed to have your hands up when you rush the quarterback. So if Coach Mack is the quarterback, and he was an all-CIF quarterback at Carlsbad High, he played at San Francisco State. If I'm running to try, and I put my hands up, the referee is going to call a penalty on that. My job is to go for what? Go for the flag.
Will they always call a penalty? No.
Now, let's go to Coach Mack on, as he has the football here, Coach. I'm going to have this pen as our imaginary football. All right, Coach Mack has the football. Now the referee has started to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If the referee gets to 7 and the quarterback still has the football, you'll hear a whistle, and the referee will say, 7 seconds, and then it will go to the next down. So if it was first down, it goes to second down. There's no penalty, but the quarterback cannot have the football for more than 7 seconds without getting rid of the football, okay?
So it's a dead ball?
So it'll be a dead ball. It'll be just next down. So there's no loss of yards, there's no penalty, anything like that. It just goes to the next down. Does that make sense, Coach?
Yeah, and so, real quick, on the pass only,
Yeah.
no lateral pass?
Okay, it has to be forward.
Okay, but
Yeah, if it's sideways, that's not a forward pass. It has to be forward. It could be an inch forward.
Okay.
Could be 10 yards forward. Doesn't matter, as long as it's forward. All right. So again, if let's say your quarterback is super athletic, and I'm a rusher and I'm not super fast, Coach Matt can only avoid me for 7 seconds. Another thing you can do is use all 6 of your players to be in coverage and let the referee basically be the rusher and count for the 7 seconds. Most teams in FNL will put one of their fastest, best players as the rusher and force that quarterback to get rid of the ball faster than he or
And
she
you can
wants.
rush 1, 2, 3, 4, as many guys as you want.
You have 6 players to use. You can rush all 6 if you want to. Or you can rush 0. You can rush 1. Okay, so we're talking a little about the actual game itself. And before I start asking or answering specific questions, I want to let everybody know, if you need help and you're like, this flag football thing is going over my head, I don't know what the rules are, email us. There are other Friday Night Lights coaches that have been coaching for like 10 years. They've had multiple kids through it, and they would love to help you. And some coaches are out of FNL, and we know them from years of working with them. And if I said, hey, Sean, will you talk to Bobby about what you did in FNL? Like, oh my gosh, I'd be so excited. I miss FNL. I'd love to talk about our offense, or I'd love to talk about practice. All right, Coach, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. So two parts real quick. Number one, when the quarterback is rushed, does that then allow him or her to run with the ball?
No, in fact, Coach, I'll do a little active demo here. No fall, you're gonna be the center here. All right, down, set, hut. I'm the quarterback, right? 1, 2. Once I toss him the ball, there is no more clock.
No, I can run or pass.
He can run or pass.
Quarterback run with the ball?
Once he hands
I
it to
was the
somebody
quarterback.
else.
Yeah, remember, I was the quarterback.
You can't run with the ball.
So I got rid of the ball.
Scramble.
Good question. So the ball always starts on the 5-yard line, and after 3 downs, if we don't get a first down, then the other team gets the ball and goes this way. Does that make sense? After you score, you can go for 2 or go for 1. Let's see if we can figure this out. If you go for 1, you're on the 5-yard line. Let's say we're going in. What does that mean for you? Pass only. Good job, Alan Murphy. But if you go for 2, you're 12 yards away. What does that mean for you? Run or pass. So, what happens on defense if you get an interception on that? You can steal the 2 points, or you can steal the extra point. So it's fun. It's actually a rule change that the FNL coaches kind of lobbied for a few years ago. They're like, hey, let's make it more fun on extra points. Like, yeah, that sounds like awesome. That's great. What's up, No Fall?
I got a couple questions.
Okay, listen. This is your 3rd question. No Fall. All right. Go ahead, bro. I'm ready.
There's limits. Go ahead.
So, when you're rushing the passer, I know you can't put your hands up. Is there like a certain distance where you can't do that, or is that
No hands.
straight from the start?
No hands up, brother.
Okay.
Would you rather deflect it or get a big sack?
Well, sometimes
Oh,
the quarterback.
No, you want a sack.
All right. What's your second question? And then you have a moratorium on questions for 15 minutes.
That's just the rusher though, right?
Just the rusher. Yeah. So like if Coach Mack is the quarterback and I'm rushing, my hands are up, that's a penalty. But if I'm beyond the line of scrimmage and I'm on defense here, I can do anything with my hands as long as I'm not past the line of scrimmage.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was asking. Like, if you can put your hands up before you cross the line of scrimmage, then you're rushing.
Yeah, sure. You could have a wall of humans standing here if you wanted. All right.
Can you rush the quarterback right away, or do you have to wait like?
No, you don't have to wait at all, but you are 10 yards
10
away.
yards back, and then you go.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
why you want a fast guy.
So let's say this was the ball. The referee will usually stand 10 yards away and say, hey, rushers have you behind me, rushers behind me. And then once the ball is snapped, now we're taking off. Okay? All right, Coach.
Yeah, so sometimes if that rusher accidentally leaves early, can he stop and not continue that rush so he does not get a false start penalty?
Great question.
An offside penalty.
Let's pretend this is the line of scrimmage right here. And what Coach is saying is, down, set, and I leave early. I haven't crossed the line yet. And now the ball got snapped. Well, I'm within 3 yards now. I am not allowed to cross. If I cross, the referee will call a penalty there. But if I don't cross and I stop myself, then now the ref's just counting 7 seconds. Does that make sense? Alan Murph, you're bursting. Go ahead, bro. John, what's up, bro? How are you?
Quick thought on the whole pass and hands up thing, like a halfback pass, for example, where somebody pitches it back, and now my guy is running towards that guy, not anticipating him to throw the football, and then all of a sudden throws it up. Can he then put his hands up to try to block it on a halfback?
You're gonna have to repeat that and go way slower, dude.
Okay, so a halfback pass situation, right?
Okay, halfback pass situation.
No, you treat him like a quarterback. You can't do it.
Yes.
Because he's still behind line of scrimmage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anytime somebody can throw the football, hands are where?
It's
Down.
protecting his arm.
Yeah, we just saw-
that before someone did it.
We saw too many kiddos, Alan. We saw too many kiddos. Now, Alan was in our first season of FNL in 2011. You won the championship, didn't you? Yep. And now you're coaching. Amazing. You're a champion too. Humble brag. All right, here we go. And so, but we saw too many 8-year-olds and 12-year-olds back there, and then the defender running at them, and then the quarterback's like, and then they would like throw the ball, and all of a sudden they get pummeled. And it was like, and then the poor kid, maybe he's not the most coordinated 12-year-old or 8-year-old in the world, right? He didn't like mean to hit the quarterback, but it just happens. So we've just gone away from having hands up, just as a safety deal. All right. Now I know we're in rapid fire question mode. No fall. You have a 15-minute moratorium. Remember? Here we go.
What is the actual penalty? So if they
Automatic first down for the offense plus 10 yards. Pretty much all penalties are, if they're against the defense, automatic first down for the offense plus 10 yards from the line of scrimmage. Go ahead, Coach.
The forward pass doesn't have to go past the line of scrimmage?
No, in fact, Coach, can I have the pen, sir? All right, now you're going to be a Roy receiver, no fall. When I tell you to snap the football, you're going to snap the ball, and this has earned you another question. Okay, here we go. Down, motion. Set, hut. That's forward pass right there, guys. All right, go ahead, coach.
Kind of a related question to that we ran into last year was if that receiver was behind the line of scrimmage and someone came across the lines to defend him, it would be called penalty.
It should be.
So nobody can defend a receiver on the pass
Oh,
line.
what a great distinction here. So let's say Coach Mack is the quarterback and I'm on defense. I cannot cross the line of scrimmage until when? The ball is released. Coach Mack has to hand the ball, throw the ball, toss the ball. He has to get rid of the football. However, once he hands off the football, tosses it, laterals it to somebody, how many of the defenders can go across? Everybody. So once the ball gets released from the quarterback's hands, game on. Yes, sir. What's your name, buddy?
Chase.
Where do you go to school?
St. Marcos.
Right on, go Knights.
Do you know the press?
We do? Yeah.
There we go.
What's up, bro? How can I help you?
How many yards is it to get to the first down from the 5 yards?
It's about 17.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I should say about 17 from goal line to the first down. Probably about 12-ish. Yeah, it just depends. Like Alga Norte is a little smaller. Point City of Turf's a little bit bigger. Point City of Baseball is right in between. And from back line to back line is usually between 45 and 50 yards. And then from G to G is usually like about 34 to 36 yards. So, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Good question. Hey, buddy. Oh, you earned the question. Yeah, go ahead.
For illegal forward pass, is it the entire body or is it just the foot of the quarterback?
You mean getting past line of scrimmage?
Yeah.
Should be where your feet are.
Okay, so it's not like if your arm.
Yeah, it's not like the NFL, dude, where like we have the instant replay, dude.
That's a feet.
Sorry about that, Vance.
It's the same for a touchdown, right?
Yes, yes.
You have to enter the end zone.
Yes.
Yeah, coach, can I have the pen? Magic pen? So let's say I'm about to get in the end zone here and I put that ball over and I'm thinking, yeah, I watch football on Sundays. I just got a touchdown. But somebody pulls my flag. If my feet are not in the end zone, it is not a touchdown. All right. We also, part of the reason why we do that is we don't want people to dive for a touchdown. Because again, we want to keep kids safe. Coach Matt, there you go, brother.
Can you reiterate that rule to the refs? What?
You know what? Do me a favor, because I'm not going to remember that. Shoot me a quick email. It's like, hey, Coach Pub, just remind the refs about this rule. If you guys have anything like that, by all means. What's up, Coach?
1 foot or 2 feet?
1 foot in terms of like being in bounds? Yeah.
Or just the end zone too.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of a judgment call to the referee, right? Like, where your feet are. Yeah.
Wait, what is it on a reception?
So, like, we play the college and the high school rules. So, like, if you're in bounds and you have 1 foot in bounds, that's okay. Whereas in the pros, they require 2 feet in bounds on a catch. Does that make sense? Robert, what's up, brother?
Say I run a 2-4 defense, my 4 linebackers, you don't have to wait 7 seconds to rush the quarterback, right? They don't have to wait
10 yards.
If anybody
10 yards.
Anybody who's past 10 yards can rush right when the ball is snapped. Anybody who's before the 10-yard has to wait to cross the line of scrimmage until the ball is exchanged in some capacity. So your run defenders, let's say, are up on the line of scrimmage. And then you have some pass defenders that are way back, and then you have a rusher or two that are gone. Does that make sense? Let's say you have two D-line players that are on line of scrimmage. You have 2 safeties way back there.
Okay.
Then you have 2 rushers that are lined up at 10 that are zoom, going.
Go 2-2-2.
You can do however you want, Coach. Listen, you can go on YouTube. Rex Ryan's defense is out there. It's a good time.
I got it. I'm good.
You sure? All right, man. Hey, Coach.
Pick 6 is only 1 or 2 points?
Same. Yeah, if you get a pick 6, it's just like scoring an offensive touchdown. You can go for 1 or 2. Yes, sir. Yep. And if on the 1-point conversion, the defense intercepted, they can run it all back and steal the 1 point. Coach.
On fumbles, I got kindergartners who are actually all preschool. So
You know what? My daughter and I did that when she was in preschool with all of her friends. I would adjust your expectations, my friend, first.
I was going to have to just talk to you about what my expectations should be.
Real low.
Real low.
I mean, talk about what you're going to do after the game.
The treats?
Yeah, Capri Suns. But it's hard. I mean, going with 4.5-year-olds against 5.5-year-olds, it's a big difference.
Honestly, guys, when I coach the young guys especially, the most important things,
Listen to this.
2 rules. Hold flags, don't drop the ball. That's it. you can have all these great plays and stuff like that, but if you don't pull flags, and it's frustrating, they're gonna drop the ball in exchanges. We worked on that. When I coached, it was like, we worked fundamentals, like basic things, because literally, all the things you're dreaming about, it's gonna take time. Pull flags, don't drop the ball. You're gonna win some games.
It's so true. It's like real football, blocking and tackling.
So no
That's all you work on is blocking and
What's that?
tackling.
So no sleeping with the ball, right?
That will help. No stripping.
Coach is so right. The minute the ball touches the ground, it's dead.
Dead ball.
There's no such
Lose
thing
it
as a
down.
fumble in FNL.
It's
Ball hits the
frustrating.
ground, it's over. Go ahead. I saw. Yes, sir.
My question is going to be if the kid just, because my son doesn't drop the ball sometimes when he's running, and it's just dead right there.
Yes, sir.
It's not a turnover.
It's
Nope.
not a turnover, thankfully. And then also flag guarding. So let's say I'm running with the football and somebody tries to pull my flag and I knock their hand away. It used to be a penalty from the line of scrimmage backwards on the offense. Now we just call it down where the person flag guarded. That way it's not that punitive. Because sometimes kids, they're running and they don't even necessarily mean to flag guard, but the referee interprets them flag guarding.
Yeah.
The ball's just down right there. No big deal. Yes, sir.
So as I'm adjusting my expectations, are there safeties?
There are safeties.
Yes.
So the kid decides to run in the opposite direction.
Yep.
What's going to happen?
When?
I remember when I was coaching the 4.5-year-old preschool team, Walker got the ball and he went the wrong way. I was like, Walker, no, this way. He was scared.
We had a kid that he struggled playing football, and his first flagpole, unfortunately, was our team. True story. That was his first flagpole.
But let's talk about ways to highlight people though. In your coach's packet that we emailed you today, it has a sample email.
Yep.
It says like, hey, look at Taylor's flag pulling. Look at Johnny's snapping. Look at Daryl's effort. Find a way to compliment everybody.
Yeah.
It doesn't take a ton to pull flags, but being recognized is really, really important. And I don't want to get on the full soapbox, but I'll say this. If anybody has any players that come from families that maybe have a split home or something like that, the 1 hour a week you get with the player, let's have a great time. Let's not castigate them for missing practice or being there 10 minutes late. Let's not make them do burpees because they were 5 minutes late. Like, let's have some grace for some kids because they don't get to choose when they show up to practice. Their parents are the one in charge, and sometimes with some custody issues, some parents are supportive of athletics and activities, some parents are not, and you just have to just treat that kid as if he's your own or she's your own for 1 hour a week during practice and 1 hour a week during the game, and high five and keep it moving and set a good example, because that 1 hour they have with you might be the best hour of their week. Like, you don't know. And so just really, really keep that in mind. And I understand there probably are like half of you out there are competitive people who competed in athletics and business and stuff. Like, this is a recreational flag football league. That's what it is. It's recreational flag football.
Yep. That's good.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, in the back.
If you're the ball carrier, and you're running to a spot, and the defender comes up, full flag, but they meet you at the spot,
Yep.
like tackle football, whose job is it to get out of the way?
The defender is entitled. The defender is entitled to his or her space.
To get the flag and they hit,
The offensive player has to move.
the offensive player has to move.
Yeah, so if the offensive player is running at me and I am the defensive player and I have established position, it is incumbent upon the offensive player to avoid what? Contact. You got to run around me.
So what do you tell the defensive player?
Hold your ground, pull the flag.
Hold your ground, pull the flag. And
Like get squared up in front or the
yeah. Square up in front. They have to run around you.
Yeah.
If they run into you, it will be a penalty.
It's supposed to.
Supposed to be a penalty, yes. Hey, coach.
Interceptions are treated normally where you can run past.
Yeah. So like, let's say it's first down. Now we get here on second down. And then on third down, we get an interception and the player runs it back. If he or she's flag pulled right here, this is where the ball goes. And you got first and goal. Yes, no fall. No fall. Are we sure this is a, go ahead.
If a player intercepts the ball and they maintain possession, they're running back, and they try to lateral it and it hits the floor, is it that player's ball still?
It is.
Yep, dead ball right there. Still your ball.
Oh, some of you are gonna be like, hey, can we lateral? Absolutely. You can lateral it on every play if you want to. Can you run a hook and ladder? Absolutely. Can you run a triple reverse flea flicker? Absolutely. Totally. Have a good time. Practice it. Make sure the ball doesn't hit the ground.
Good luck.
Yeah. Good. That would be great. Okay, let's go back to the actual game. How many quarters do we play?
4.
Okay, how long are the quarters? 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Are those quarters going to go fast? Absolutely. Before the game starts, though, you have to have your lineup card filled out. You have to be on your field at least 5 minutes before the game, preferably 10 minutes before the game. When you get to the game, you have your lineup card filled out. If you don't know how to fill up a lineup card, nccfnl.com Coaches tab gives you an example. You hand it to the other coach, or you have he or she take a picture of it. If you fail to provide your lineup card to the other coach before the game, the other coach just tells the referee, hey, Coach Pub did not let me have his lineup card. The referee goes, oh, no problem. Coach, you start on second down. Now, you lose a down. So in order to make sure that we encourage player participation, we require the coaches to exchange lineup cards. And then I would have one of your parents keep score and keep track of substitutions. Mm-hmm. If not, what happened in the past was coaches got very liberal, very creative with their substitution methods. And that would, unfortunately, the opportunity cost there was other kids didn't play as much. So to ensure participation, we require coaches to exchange lineup cards before the game. And if that other coach goes, oh, I don't need it, say, no, 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 no. Take a photo of it. Make sure we're on the same page with that, because we want to make sure that every kid plays the amount of time they should play. Go ahead, Coach.
In the spring league, is it substitution by quarter versus right now in the winter you can be?
Great question. FNL has 2 large seasons, fall and spring, where we mandate the substitutions per what we prescribe for you on our website and in our rules. The winter and summer seasons are different. We allow you to substitute every play if you want to. But fall and spring, the more regimented ones, are pretty strict. Go ahead, no fall. First team all question. Yes, sir.
I remember last year there was like a rule that in the first quarter you could substitute freely if you had a certain amount of players.
That was the, yep, and then we changed that.
Okay.
Yeah, because some coaches, their quote, free substitutions just meant putting the fast players in the whole time.
Okay.
Yeah, kids like me never got the ball.
How you recommend we police that amongst one another?
Yeah, so you exchange line cards.
Exchange the card.
And then you designate a parent to make sure that number 18 is going in, number 17 is going in, blah, blah. And if there's a substitution infraction or no exchange happens, let the referee know. Yeah.
For kindergarten, can we just have like a carousel of kids, just so kids are on the sidelines?
You still, in kindergarten, you're still subbing the same way, but the lineup card is not as critical, honestly.
But we don't, it's not like by quarter, like I can just be like.
No, you're subbing by quarter, yeah.
Oh, yeah. By quarter?
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody will play 3 quarters, you know, two full quarters plus like most of a third quarter. Yeah, and if you have 8 players, then every quarter you have 2 players sitting out, and all 8 players will play 3 full quarters. When you have 9 players, you're going to have 2 plus like most of a quarter as the rule. Check it out on the website. If you have any questions on the substitution card, call me. I'll walk you through it, dude.
Okay.
Yeah.
For the kinder too, like if you have more than 9, like I think our team has like 11.
Oh, bro, why?
I don't know. Just friends and friends, and I want to
Well,
play.
that's your call, then you agreed to all that.
Yeah, okay, that's what I'm
gonna
saying.
make it tough, man.
I know.
You can only sub at the quarter, dude.
So that's what I'm saying. So then it would be almost like the full team.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. You and I are we're gonna become very close friends this year because we're gonna have to talk a lot about how we equally maintain the substitutions, dude.
Perfect. Well, if 3 kids don't show up every game, it might be.
That's huge. That's huge. Alan Murphy, yes, sir.
Do you mind just clarifying injury substitution rules? Because I've had it in the past where a player gets hurt in the middle of the quarter and a kid will just come off the bench and it's that superstar kid that was supposed to be out and now randomly comes to the game and that kid's sitting, drinking a juice box, hanging out now, he's feeling better, but he can't come back in. We just clarify that.
Yeah. Coach Mack, if there's a coach in here that is going to fake injuries and sicknesses for 9-year-olds, and there's, I don't really know what to say to
Well, I mean, I'm
that.
not saying that's any injury, but like an injury occurs in a game, which they do. because-
Injuries happen, put in whoever you want, and once the player's calf is back to normal or hamstrings regenerated, then put the player back in the game. Yeah. No fault? Go ahead, Bert.
Well, I was just gonna say, I don't think it's fair for the coaches that you're playing against, for them to be subjective on what your player's injury status is. Also.
I agree, and there's also HIPAA laws, dude. Okay, go ahead.
Are the refs given a whole point before the game for the lineup exchange? Because I feel like in all the games we ever had, I mean, I'm not going to be the one to say, yeah, you're going to start on second down every time. I feel like that needs to be the referees.
If you don't let the referee know that the other coach didn't exchange lineup cards, I don't know how that referee's going to know.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Once you tell them, they'll enforce it.
Yeah, I mean,
So
you can be like, hey ref, I'm going to introduce myself to coach. I'm going to exchange lineup cards. Just want to make sure you see this, and then you're all good. Or you can do it on your own, and then if that person goes, no way, I'm not exchanging lineup cards with you, be like, hey ref, they're not exchanging lineup cards. The ref will go, second down, here we go.
Yeah, what I'm saying though is I'm never going to do that to somebody. I'm never
That's
gonna
on
do
you.
that to another team. But
Yeah, I mean, that's on you. You know, I mean, those are the rules, and we have the rules there not to make you feel like a weirdo or petty, honestly, to make kids to allow them to participate.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to do here. We want the players to participate. We don't want coaches deciding playing time. We don't want coaches doing the thing where like Johnny missed practice on Tuesday, he sits the first quarter. No. That's not how it goes.
Not you.
What's up? What else? Hey, coach. We'll get to you next, coach.
Is there a time you suggest to have practice? And maybe this is, but it feels like with 9 kids, there's bound to be 1 or 2, like, I can't make 4 o'clock on Tuesday, but that's when you do it. You just accept the fact that the kid.
Well, then you're going to try your best with your schedule because you're volunteering. And I don't know if there's a perfect time. It's going to be your time, really. And you're going to fight for practice places to practice.
Yeah.
Honestly.
We'll provide a bunch of fields. Once we have it all from the school districts and the cities, we'll email you out. There'll be a Google spreadsheet that goes out to everybody that says, hey, these are the fields we have, first come, first serve. To answer your question directly, you have 6 practices before February 16th. Then, if your game's at 5:10 at Poinsettia Park, get everybody there at 4:20 and have another run through before the game. Have a little polish time. Work on flag pulling because everybody wants to focus on offense. When we email you on Fridays at noon, like 28% of you are out of office, okay? And then most of you are working on football plays. Make sure you're working on defense. Everybody wants to work on offense. Make sure you're working on flag pulling. Make sure you're working on alignment. Make sure you're working on nobody gets outside if you play this position. Nobody gets behind you if you play this position. Be really, really leery of your time allocation. Go ahead, coach.
Do the first practice choose teammates?
No, the teammates have been chosen for you. Yeah. So some of you will be the South Alabama Jaguars this year. Or the Stetson Hatters. Who knows? It's going to be super duper fun. And because I went to UC Davis and I had a problem with one of the coaches in FNL, like not a real problem, I removed Cal Poly San Luis Obispo football from FNL for like 3 years. just because I was like, nah, dude. You're out here. Anyways, what else?
Brotman, you had a question or did you get an answer? Cool.
Chase, how you doing, buddy?
Yes.
We don't have an assistant coach scheduled yet. Can we?
It happens. It's like, it's pretty organic. You email everybody like, hey, I'm coach, super excited to work with your player. Is anybody able to be an assistant? And by being an assistant, I just need a warm body to help me shag balls at practice. And all of a sudden you like encourage/coerce somebody into volunteering to help you. Next thing you know, you're like, hey, here's a hat and a whistle. Let's go. And you can have as many assistants as you want, honestly. Yeah, as long as the head coach goes through the background check, it's all good.
Assistant coaches do not have to go through the background check?
No, just the head coach only. Yeah, one parent per team. The person who we end up interacting with. Yeah. So like, for example, if like something bad happens at one of your games, there's a parent dispute or something, we'll call you. You're the head coach at Record. You're this email we have. You're the phone number we have. And we're like, hey, dude, we heard this happen. And you're like, yeah, you know what? I got a handle on it. This is what happened, blah, blah, blah. All right, coach, well, we got to be real careful about that. Or it's like, hey, coach, you got to tell Mr. Smith he's out for the week. And if you don't want to, we will. No problem. Yeah, but one person has to be the responsible entity on the team. Hey, coach.
You clarify the rule where there's 7 players and the other coach gets to sit one player at their choice and what quarter that is?
I would love to. This is our favorite role play game at these FNL coaches meeting. Coach Mack, I have 7 players. You have 9 players. Before the game, come on. Hey, Coach Mack, my name is Coach Pup. I've got 7 players. Nice to meet you. I'd like to exchange lineup cards with you.
And I say, well, I would like number 7 to sit out.
So, I've got 7 players. He identified number 7. I don't know how he knew number 7 was my best player. I don't know how, but he knew. So then I say, so on my little scorecard, on my little card, I go, all right, how long? Number 7 will be out in the 2nd quarter. Boom, boom. Hand it back to him, and that's it. Now, I choose what quarter my player sits out. But he or she can choose which player has to sit out. Because with 7 players, I know you're all really good at math. With 7 players, only one person sitting out, right? So it depends on how good your team is, but 7 players can be an advantage, honestly.
Yep.
Because you have the right players kind of showing up. If your 2 worst players don't show up in the game, it's kind of an advantage. So coach says, number 7 has to sit out. I choose what quarter, but if I'm weird, let's just say I grew up on Weird Street, and I go, hey coach, I've got 8 players, and he's got 9, and we shake hands, we do the thing, and then the game starts, he goes, hey ref, he only has 7, he didn't tell me. Then now he gets to choose what quarter this player is sitting out. And he can wait till the 4th quarter to tell the referee. And that's like a little gamesmanship, but honestly, it can all be handled up front before the game by some honest, transparent communication, just like marriage.
Did that answer it? Is that good?
Yeah. Coach.
Yeah, how much of this is relevant for kindergartners who have multiple reasons why they're not on the
Hey, kindergarten, have a good time with it.
Just having fun, right?
We're just having fun. But coach, can I give you some advice on the kindergarten?
Oh, please.
Don't let them take the flags home themselves.
Yeah.
You keep the flags.
Really for all of them. I think the coach keeps the flags in the...
Keep the flags. Do not expect them to go home and practice. They're going to come back with no flags.
Yeah.
And then you're going to say, go to the snack bar, pay $18 with cash. And it's going to be a bad deal for you.
Mouthpieces too.
Yeah. So, what else, guys? We're about at the hour mark.
One thing with the uniforms, make sure whether if they lose their shorts or whatever, they can't have pockets. That's a big deal. They can't have pockets. And we've had incidents where we've had to not let kids play. We've had broken fingers and stuff in the pockets. And I personally, when I'm out there, it's a pet peeve of mine if your team doesn't have all the same shorts. Like, that irritates me. So make sure you all look the right way. I'm the uniform police.
Yeah, and you're flat. I mean, you get jerseys and shorts, but sometimes people lose them, whatever. But you have to make sure you match. And I have seen so many coaches, and this is why we were so gnarly about the shorts with no pockets. I've seen so many coaches with splints on their fingers over the years and all sorts of contraptions. And it's like, what happened, coach? I was pulling flags with the kids at practice and my hand got caught in their pocket. And you're like, oh gosh, that sucks. So really, to protect the kids and the coaches, make sure everybody's always no pockets at practice, no pockets at the game. If you lose something, call Tommy, email Tommy. She can get you a replacement jersey or replacement shorts in a week or so. Worst case, go to Walmart, get some black shorts, call it a day. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what about tucking in the jerseys? Is that a rule, not a rule?
It is. It is.
It's a rule.
And it's part of the reason why our jerseys are so big,
Yeah. Do the refs know that though?
Yes.
They do.
And they should check them every quarter, or at the coach go, hey, I usually, ref, jersey check, flag check,
That makes me like the weird person.
No.
It's not a big deal.
I'm like the crazy mom.
Because what happens is when the person scores and the flag is, back here, then there's complaints. have those tucked in, have the flags out, and just keep, as coaches, just keep communicating that.
Now, Coach, at the end of every quarter, as a coach, what would you be verifying with the ref and with the other?
Score. Hey, let's make sure we're on the same page with the score. And then I want to make sure their flags are in the appropriate position and their jerseys are tucked in.
Yes, sir.
By the way, they can't wear hats either.
No hats.
No hats. We'll let beanies go, but no hats.
Yes, sir.
I think I emailed